Well, look, good luck to him. And junior doctors, you'll have heard in England, have called off the planned strike there was to be today. But the thing is, hospitals are still expected to be disrupted because a lot of patients, we may be talking thousands here, have had operations cancelled. What can be done about all of this? Junior doctor Eamonn Lonsdale joins me now. Eamonn, where are we at?
I'm pleased to be sat here today talking to you rather than being part of industrial action, because the Health Secretary has decided to come back to the negotiating table with the BMA, giving the assurances we need to move forward in this process.
Yeah, but he will say it was you that weren't doing the talking.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, he will say that. However, the BMA have been quite clear with the government as to what assurances have been needed since September, if not before. I don't know why the Health Secretary has waited until the last minute to make a decision about coming back to the negotiating table.
What are those assurances, though, that have brought you to the negotiating table?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, that we have proper contractual safeguards in place that stop doctors being overworked, because we know that tired doctors make mistakes and we want to be able to practice medicine safely for our patients. But also a recognition of antisocial hours, a contract that is not unfair to people who work less than full time, parents, etc., and really to enable us to train as good doctors through our contracts.
Here's the problem for you, Eamonn, isn't it? This is a Conservative manifesto, election manifesto commitment. They said they would deliver full-time hospital care 24/7. Does this happen anywhere else in the world? You see, it's one thing saying that this can happen, and we think, well, this obviously, I would have thought, well, obviously this happens somewhere else. Does it happen anywhere else?
Well, it depends what you mean by 24/7 care. I've been a junior doctor since 2007. I've always provided emergency care. If he means elective care, as in routine operations, then I'm not aware of any healthcare system in the world that offers, knee replacements on a Sunday evening. So it really does depend on what he means.
Why do they not? That I assume, as a consumer, is what he does mean, that you can have an operation any day of the week, that a Wednesday would be exactly the same as a Sunday.
And you get the same level of staffing, the same level of care.
Backup, analysis.
Well, if that's what he does mean, then I think there needs to be a wider debate with the British public about whether that's what they want from the NHS.
That's what we think he means, and why wouldn't we want that from the NHS?
I take your point, and maybe we do. There are some pilot studies that have happened in general practice, and people have just simply not come to appointments on a Sunday afternoon because, frankly, they would rather not come to a routine GP appointment on those days. The other point to make is that if you want to move to a 7-day-a-week elective service, that's a 40% increase in productivity with no new investment, either in terms of staffing or resources. Now, that would be impossible in any industry, let alone healthcare. So I think it's very difficult to see how we could possibly provide elective care across 7 days.
Here's where I have problems with what's going on here. I would never have been smart enough or have the courage to be a doctor, a surgeon, any sort of doctor. What about you, SJ? Would you?
No, a lot of my friends at university were medics, and they worked some tough hours and the training.
So basically, what we're saying is that we would have huge respect for people who have gone on to do what you do. What I do not like about this whole system is that instead of being lauded and praised and other young people encouraged to go on and do what you guys are doing, you guys are being made out to be panto villains. Is that the way you feel about it?
I think junior doctors have felt attacked by the government over this period, and I think that is a real shame. What we want to do is, as you say, provide safe and high quality care for our patients, and for us to be fighting against a contract that we see as bringing in unsafe working practices is not where we saw ourselves when we went to university.
Yes, sure. What do you mean by unsafe? You're talking about the amount of hours.
So the proposals as they stood removed all of the contractual safeguards that prevent doctors working long hours, and what we were really concerned about was that would lead to us going back to working 100-hour weeks that we saw in the 80s.
But what if you were being paid to work 100-hour weeks? Would that have made a difference? See, because a lot of people are saying this is all about money.
No, it's not about money. Doctors have at no point during this process asked for a pay rise. We want to work safely. 100-hour week.
You don't want a pay cut either.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to vote for a pay cut, are they? I mean, we recognise that we're in difficult financial circumstances. We've had a pay restraint in the NHS for the entirety of the last Parliament. Doctors have taken a hit in terms of income throughout this austerity programme. But you're right. I mean, you know, doctors aren't going to vote for a pay cut, but really what we want is to be able to work safely, and 100-hour weeks aren't safe, and we're quite clear about that.
But Dagan, I suppose what's happened is that you've created more work for yourselves with the backlog. I mean, the threat of a strike, we're talking about cancelled operations and whatever. Your job is not about to get a lot easier, is it?
So in terms of the cancelled operations, I just think it's a shame that the Health Secretary's waited so long to come back to give the assurances the BMA is needed, because we didn't need to cancel operations. This all could have been sorted out weeks ago. Yes, that is going to create work, and I'm very sorry to all the patients who have had their care disrupted through this process. And I'm sure we'll be able to catch up that work in due time.
How long has it taken you to train and study to be at the level you are?
I started being a medical student in 2002, qualified in 2007. I'm still a junior doctor at the age of 32 in 2015. I'll probably qualify as a consultant within the next 4 or 5 years after research and finishing my training.
Do you begrudge this lad his position in the workplace on the scale of what he's had to do, bearing in mind the studies that he's had to do? Are you with the doctors? Are you with the government in this one? Let us know at Eamonn Holmes, at Sky, Sarah Jane.
news@sky.com is the email address as well.
That's exactly the one I was looking for. Dagan Lonsdale there. He is a junior doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed for your time. Thank you.